Let me ask you a question. What is the most broken brawler in Brawl Stars history? Others are probably screaming Larry and Larry, and I have seen people say Charlie, Leon or Kit. But today we're finally ranking the 10 most broken brawlers ever. So by the end of this video we'll find out who really deserves the number 1 spot. Also, if you disagree with the ranking, don't get mad, just wait until the end first. Alright, let's get into it. Before we start, here's how I ranked them. First, how broken they were when they came out. Then, how long they stayed overpowered. Then, how much they took over ladder and ranks. And finally, how fast Supercell had to nerf them. Alright, starting at number 10, we have Kenji. I know, some of you probably wanted him higher already, but hear me out. When Kenji first came out, people realized almost instantly that he was really strong. He had amazing damage, great healing, and he was so hard to finish off. It felt like every fight lasted forever because he would just heal back up. If you didn't know how to play against him, he completely took over the match. The reason I only put it at number 10 is because Supercell reacted pretty quickly. He was still broken, but just not for a long time of the other brawlers on the list. Coming in at number 9 we have Fang. Now I'm mainly talking about Fang at the strongest. Especially once the hype charge was added, this guy could literally jump into your whole team. Get one kill, chain another super, and suddenly the entire game was over. It honestly felt like every ranked match had a Fang. One good Fang player could carry almost every game. Even after balance changes, he stayed one of the scariest assassins in the game. Definitely deserving of a spot on this list. At number 8 we have Amber. When she first came out, nobody knew what to do against her. She was the first brawler who could just hold the attack button and melt everyone in front of them. Her damage was absolutely insane. She controlled huge parts of the maps, and getting close to her was almost impossible. She stayed near the top of the meta for a long time, which is exactly why she makes this list. And finally, number 7, Chester. This guy was just pure chaos. His damage was ridiculous high, and even though his supers were random, almost all of them were useful. Sometimes you would lose a fight before you even realize what happened. Players figured out pretty quickly that Chester was way stronger than it should have been. Supercell ended up nerfing him, but for those first weeks he was one of the strongest brawlers in the entire game. And trust me, the next 6 brawlers somehow get crazy. Alright, now we're getting into the really broken brawlers. At number 6 we have Surge. If you didn't play during the Surge meta, you honestly got lucky. At the start of every game he wasn't too scary, but once he got his supers it was basically over. He had more range, more speed, and he was almost impossible to catch. On top of that, his old gadget let him teleport through walls whenever he wanted. You thought you were safe. Nope, you weren't. Suddenly there was a Surge right on top of you. He stayed one of the best brawlers in the game for months, and that's why he deserves the number 6 spot. Coming at number 5 is Kit. Honestly, Kit's release was just weird. At first everyone thought he looked balanced, then people figured out how broken he actually was. Especially in solo showdown. If a kid jumped onto another brawler, the game was basically over. And to make things even worse, there were a bunch of bugs that made him even stronger. Every time you loaded into a game, there was a kid, and if there wasn't, you were probably happy. Supercell had to fix him pretty quickly, but for his first week he was an absolute nightmare. Now we're in the top 4, and if you have playing Brawlstars for a long time, you already knew this guy will be here. Leon. When Leon first came out, he completely took over the game. His super lasted forever, nobody knew where he was, and then boom, you were gone in 2 shots. Especially in solo showdown, Leon was everywhere. You couldn't trust any bush. Every time someone disappeared, you knew what was coming. Honestly, I don't think any assassin has scared players as Leon's release. Alright, we have made it in the top 3, and trust me, these next 3 weren't just broken, they actually changed the entire game. If you remember playing against any of them, you probably still have nightmares. Let's see who takes the number 3 spot. Alright, we've officially made it into the top 3, and coming in at number 3 is Charlie. When Charlie was first released, she didn't just have good damage, she completely changed how every game was played. Her super was honestly one of the most annoying abilities we've ever seen. You could be carrying your team, about to score, or you're just about to win a fight, and then you're stuck in a cocoon. Just sitting there, watching your teams get destroyed. Well, you literally cannot do anything. It was honestly so frustrating to play against. And it wasn't just ladder players saying she was broken. Even pro players were banning Charlie almost every game because nobody wanted to deal with her. She had an amazing range, great damage, strong spiders, and probably one of the best supers we have ever seen. Supercell ended up nerfing her over and over again. But even after all those nerfs, she was still one of the best brawlers in the game. That's why Charlie easily takes the number 3 spot. But as broken as she was, there are still 2 brawlers that were somehow even worse. Alright, we have made it into the number 2. And honestly, I don't think there's a more broken brawler than Rosa if you played back in 2019. You already know what I'm talking about. The day Rosa was released, Brawlstars completely changed. Her super gave her around 80% damage reduction, which basically meant she wouldn't die. You could just run straight into an entire team, tank thousands of damage, and still walk away. It got so bad that people start calling it the Rosa Apocalypse. Every single game was filled with Rosas. If you didn't have one in your team, you were probably losing. Supercell realized pretty quickly that they have made a huge mistake, and they emergency nerfed her only after a few days after release. Honestly, I don't think we'll ever see another release that shocked the community as much as Rosa. But somehow, one brawler managed to be even worse. And finally, the most broken brawl in Brawl's history, at least in my opinion, is Larry and Larry. When these two were released, they weren't just strong, they were good at everything. They had crazy damage, amazing range, great control, and Larry made them even harder to deal with. It didn't matter if you were playing ladder, ranked, mega pick, or even competitive, they completely took over the game. Every team wanted them, and if you didn't pick them, you were probably about to lose. The craziest part, even after multiple nerfs, they were still one of the best brawlers in the game. That's something almost no brawler on this list can say. That's why, for me, Larry and Larry are the most broken brawlers ever released in Brawlstars. And that's my ranking out of the 10 most broken brawlers in Brawl's history. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.